Yeah, put them right on the table.
Right on the table.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hello, everyone. Now you can all hear me, and welcome once again to another storyline video here in the Colonial Dungeon. I hope you all can hear me from this distance because we are a ways. I am the colonist, joined by
Your boy A-Bizzle. Let's go.
And welcome, everyone. And we are going to go through the entire Autumn Asylum card. 3-day event. Huge 3-day event, AB.
Huge.
September 29th, September 30th, and October 1st. The end of the month. Here at the end of the month in August, we're going to be bringing it to you in September. We have got a jam-packed card. We're going to go through each and every match that all of you, the fans, are going to be able to watch right here, right at this place in CIW. But AB, here, you got to tell them how exactly they can watch all of this fantastic content.
You gotta like, you gotta subscribe, you gotta do all the proper things, you gotta tune in, you gotta see it, man.
That's right. It's all right here at the table.
Woo!
And brought to you for the table. So let's start out with the pre-shows. Because we've got some weeks leading up. We got some Saturday night hype.
Should we let them know about the featured dessert that's happening?
Oh,
right
yeah.
there.
So Corleone has he's opened up a cookie shop. And as a result of opening up the cookie shop, he has now offered us some baked goods that we will be having not just later tonight after the storyline video is over, but also during Autumn Asylum, at least in part of the 3 days. I don't know if he's going to bring it for day 3. He does like to kind of change that up from now and then. I mean, you're the one closest to him.
3 days of cookie would be way too much, but the featured cookie for one of these 3 days will be chocolate silk pie and snickerdoodle.
Snickerdoodle.
Ooh.
But there will be no laughs, just graps.
Yeah.
Coming in. Well, AB, I'm going to give you the mic because I'm a pretty loud guy. But I want you to tell the microphone as I read all of these off to you just what you think of all these matches, all right?
Word. You like my shirt?
I do like your shirt. Well, I'm going to get to your shirt in a second.
Word.
But before we get to there, we have some Saturday night hype. We start out with the second, which is just a couple of days from now. Just 2 days from now, we have a triple threat match. Freddy Krueger versus Smoke versus Captain Planet. That's going to be a pretty intense matchup, don't you think, Josh? Again. Josh Geddon's over there. He's listening. He's watching. Yeah. How about you, CJ? You think I'm not looking at you? I'm looking right at you. AB, what do you think's going to happen?
Man, I'm excited to see what happens. My vote's going for Smoke because I like that drugs are bad.
I also like that drugs are bad. Public messages are great to send here every time we're here. That's right.
Thank you, Sky.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You know what's really funny about that, Josh, again, is that I actually was called Skylar before because, you see, I love messing up.
Yeah, okay.
It's one of my things. You know, Michael Cole, he's one of my favorite commentators of all time. He's so good. He's just so good. He never makes a mistake ever. So I'm just emulating my hero, Michael Cole.
Shout out to all the hosts.
Shout out to every host. Samantha Irvin, Josh Geddon, CJ, and everyone else. There's a lot of us. Well, that's on the second. Then on Saturday night after that, we have the SPD Rangers, the women, the yellow and the pink Rangers, Sydney and Lizzie, going up against Evie Hammond and Padme Amidala of the Natalie World Order. Do you think the other Rangers can pull off the victory against the NWO?
Them poor flimsy ladies.
Yeah.
Ladies! Can I get a ladies in the chat?
There are no ladies in this chat. I'm guaranteed you there's no ladies in this chat.
Can we write a ladies in the chat?
Sure, write the word ladies in the chat.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out to ladies some of us have.
Woo! Yeah.
But it's the other Rangers and Evie and Padme. This is after an intentional disqualification from Evie Hammond during the Padme and Pink Ranger match. And that is where we are going with that. So this is a little bit of revenge here.
She's going to come in hot. She's going to be mad.
Then Sydney was pretty mad, especially because after an Amidala slam that Sydney kicked out of, that's when Evie Hammond decided, screw it, we're not bothering with this. So now we're going to have to see whether they will be able to take down the NWO. Going to be a pretty tough matchup there. Okay. But they are going to be followed by the men's Rangers the week following that.
Okay.
Because it's the other Rangers in Sky and Bridge. Funny you say Sky. In Sky and Bridge, the green and the blue Ranger.
Oh, boy.
They're going to be taking on Pepsi Man in a handicap match.
Pepsi Man!
Do you think the other Rangers stand a chance against the man who has beaten Wario not once, but twice?
That's rough, man. That guy's got an aluminum out exterior.
He does. He's a tough man.
Aluminum!
A tough man with a tough can. The can. can his way to a victory here on Saturday Night High.
I don't know. He's still 5 cents to me.
He is. Well, you know what? He's had to deal with that stigma his entire life, AB. I mean, realistically, well, you know, when you get right down to it, can you imagine being told your whole life all you're worth is a nickel?
Yeah, it's messed up, man. And he's worth 10 cents in other places.
I know.
I know.
But 5 cents here, it's a shame.
Fine.
But in any case, that's Saturday Night Hype. But then we got the pre-show. And I know you're invested in the pre-show.
No.
Because you are main eventing the pre-show.
Oh, yeah.
Here's how it's going down.
Oh, yeah.
We have Ken Masters, who's on the pre-show because after Ken Masters at the Midsummer Showdown was in Johnny Cage's corner, Sagat kind of freaked out because he's like, because of the pre-show clause, you're not allowed to be here. Even though he didn't technically have a match, he was just in the corner of Sagat, and Sagat continually messed with him. But as a result, Sagat made a stink in the office, and Corleone just was like, fine, dude, whatever. So what was going to be the Forgotten Fighters versus Johnny Cage, Ermac, and Ken Masters had to be booted from that on the actual show itself. So instead, he's going to be going one-on-one with Sephiroth, who has kind of had a situation of sympathy going his way too. Who you got in that one, AB?
Oh, man, that's a hard one. But
it is.
You know, we'll see how anger prevails, you know?
Yeah.
We'll see if the anger overpowers the powers. But Sephiroth wants it. So
Sephiroth wants it, but Ken Masters has got to be pretty mad that he's just getting booted on the pre-shows. I mean, that's a pay decrease.
Yeah.
I mean, main card is main card money. You know, I'm not the one in charge of the finance. I know you have a little bit more into that situation, but
and there's no suites after they finish it. They get to their locker room, no suites,
and no satanic suites either, because those have been destroyed
allegedly.
Yeah. But in any case, then the next matchup is Salt and Pepper, Eminem and Dave Chappelle versus Grime Time, Captain Pollution and Dr. Dirty. That is a match that we have never seen before. Tag team action. Captain Pollution and Dr. Dirty kind of on a losing streak lately. Salt and Pepper always on a losing streak lately. Who do you think you've got in that matchup to kind of get some momentum change the other direction?
I think Grime and Slime is going to get the win on it, man. I don't know. That's my opinion.
Yeah, it's difficult because Salt and Pepper, you know, they've been a team for a longer time, but Mr. Clean, former tag team champion, Captain Pollution, the greatest champion, even though he never defends the belt. But that is the case and what's going down there. So, and then the main event. Now, AB, I know you don't really want to talk about it because you spent last month describing to us all the torture that you went through, Seinfeld, the therapy, and all of the things, you know, and then Aquaman ruining your suit.
Yeah.
And I know that that's the sensitive one because that was your first handmade custom suit.
Yeah.
That Corleone ever got you for CIW when you joined on here. So I know it's a sensitive topic. I'm actually going to take the gimmick off. You are facing in a non-contenders match because Aquaman is the #1 contender for the Exceeds title. But you are facing Aquaman in a one-on-one matchup, a matchup of vengeance, a matchup of pride, and a matchup that means a lot to you, I know, to get your hands on Aquaman finally after everything he's put you through.
Listen here, Aquaman. You take a listen here, man. You take a listen here right now. I'm going to kick you in the balls. I'm going to punch you in the balls. It's about sending a message, man. It's about sending a message, man. So you got to kick him in the balls. From the tenacious group that we know.
That's right.
You got to send a message. You got to kick him in the balls. You got to send a message and then punch him in the balls. So repeated ball punching. You know, write that down.
And he'll have deserved it. He'll have deserved it. For what he put you through, he'll have deserved it.
You want to know where I got this shirt?
I would love to know. Did you steal it?
I jacked it.
Did you steal it?
I jacked it.
I'm not surprised.
Yep.
I'm not surprised.
I did a lot of very unlawful things in the Flash's room.
Hey,
that's
listen,
right.
Well,
and I jacked the shirt.
Hey, you had to. They kidnapped you for 3 days, for God's sakes. They kidnapped you for 3 damn days. So that's going to be the pre-show. Main event, Aquaman, A-Bizzle. I'm looking forward to it. You know, that's right. And AB, you beat Aquaman. Hey, that could lead to a lot of good things, you know, let alone, but he will have earned it. But let's get to the main card, shall we? That's all. Yeah. That's all just leading up to the show. That's just leading up to the show.
Hey.
So then, on the 29th of September, for Autumn Asylum 2023, day 1, the Flash, the guy in shirt, is facing a man you and I have taken a good kinding to. After his performance in King of the Spring, made it to the finals, didn't quite go the way that we wanted him to go. The Flash, who has the flash in the pan finish, is quite similar to Symbiote Spider-Man's Bellini.
Mm.
Spidey's not happy about that at all.
Yep.
So Spider-Man and the Flash, day one, Autumn Asylum, one-on-one. Who do you think's going to come out of that the victor?
Bellini.
There you go. There you go. I couldn't have said it better myself if I had said it myself.
That's all I got to say about it.
Bellini.
Damn right.
Okay, maybe I did say it better myself. Anyway, so we go, then we have a debut. And this one I'm excited for because we are, as you know, AB, we have been ever expanding our women's division.
Ladies.
Hey, did you write it in the chat, folks? I'm not looking because it's too far away and I don't have good glasses. I'm wearing sunglasses at night. But I assume you all said ladies in the chat. We're going to have a debut. It's Lara Croft versus... I can't tell you. I can't tell you. I'll tell you why I can't tell you, because Corleone has not told me, but I'll tell you this. This is what he said to me. We will both know who she is. It is a she. We will both know who she is.
Okay.
And she is somebody who has conquered things larger than anything in CIW has ever been faced with. So this is somebody with a pretty high reputation. You know, can she summon up and muster what she needs to conquer Lara Croft, who has agreed to be the challenger for our latest debut? Folks, you will find that out, of course, at day one of Autumn Asylum.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we mentioned Wario.
Yeah.
We mentioned Wario, and Wario, he hasn't been doing too well lately. He's been on a pretty bad losing streak. You saw how destroyed he was to Shiva. I mean, that was brutal, man. It was Shiva really laid the whoop ass on him. Yeah. And so as a result, Wario was really kind of needing a win.
Yeah.
And so he has challenged Riddick of the Shades of Black, who has got a good amount of momentum on his side as it is, as far as some of the people that he's beaten. Satan at a couple of times, actually. He beat him at Doomsday. He beat him at Revelation. He's gotten a lot of wins. He won that triple threat with the Shades of Black when they had that whole 40-minute gossip fight.
Yep.
And so Wario's trying to kind of rebound as Riddick is trying to build off his momentum. And with the way that the Shades of Black are getting bitter about that whole Satan Soldiers deal, do you think that Riddick's involved with that situation, or do you think that he's still trying to do his own thing while his compatriots are kind of on the salty dog scale?
Yeah, that whole drama match really was stirring up a lot of stuff. So I feel like Riddick is really kind of trying to stick to his own thing.
Yeah.
Not let any more secrets let out, because you know what happens when we start letting them secrets out. They start quitting that match quick. They're like, oh, no, we can't do this.
Yeah. Then pretty soon they start going into business for themselves. Yeah. And when they start going into business for themselves, pop-ups show up.
Pop-ups.
And it's never good to have pop-ups show up.
See?
And then potentially get front face lock. Then, so Wario and Riddick, expect that on day one. Then we also have the Joker was challenged by a man after everything that the Joker has done. Mr. Money in the Bank himself. Do we need to go through it? As far as the Joker punch of doom that tarnished the whole King of the Spring tournament, winning the King of the Spring tournament, and then kidnapping you, breaking our boss's leg, Corleone's leg. He's still not 100%, so we're not going to see him in Autumn Asylum. And he won't be ready by then, so he's not going to be in action. I hate to break that to you folks, but Corleone won't be there.
Got to recover. Got to subscribe.
He's got to recover. That's right.
Add to the referee fund and save the people.
That's right. You got to save him. And that'll also help Corleone, even though he has extensive health care. Like, I saw his plan. My God.
Yeah.
The amount that's covered is insane.
He owns a hospital.
Does he?
He owns a hospital. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Is that the one that Joker blew up in the movie?
Redacted.
Yeah. So the Joker, you know what he's done. You've heard what he's done. Well, an unexpected source came to the defense of CIW and said, you've really tarnished what CIW has stood for, the integrity that CIW has stood for, even with Satan involved, the way that he's been. CIW had some respect to it, even when Satan was doing his shenanigans, that the Joker just clearly doesn't have. And this man is fighting for basically not only his CIW original friend in Symbiote Spider-Man, but he's fighting for CIW's integrity. It is Joker versus Prince of Persia in a very interesting matchup. Who do you think will come out on top in that encounter?
Well, I'm not gonna root for the Joker, unfortunately.
I don't think that's unfortunate at all.
That's on that. But I will give a nice little sneak tip.
What's that?
In the DC house, everybody calls Joker Stinky Bits behind his back. So that's just something. And factually, he has very stinky bits.
Rivaling the Penguin?
Penguin has.
He's got like the whole thing. He's got the whole deal going on.
You can smell them, you might lose a nose.
Yeah. You don't go into the Penguin's bedroom.
He just got a certain stank. Like he doesn't wear deodorant on purpose because he knows.
He actually puts on deodorant that smells like moldy cheese and fish, I assume. I wasn't there. Thankfully, I wasn't there.
He loves giving hugs. He loves giving hugs. So I feel like he does it on purpose.
I bet. Well,
Stinky bits.
I'll tell you what. He's not going to be able to hug anybody because the main event of day one is whoever they've chosen is DC, because they've chosen this free bird rule, which means that any member of DC can compete for the tag titles and defend the tag titles. Okay. So all of DC has it. So it's going to be 2 members of DC versus the Greasy Green Gigolos, who have earned this rematch with from Doomsday when they got screwed out of the belts because of the Penguin. Hell in the Cell tag team action. It ends day one. Greasy Green Gigolos are pissed. They're not dancing anymore. They're in for a fight.
Greasy Green ready to fight. Greasy Green all damn night.
Yeah, that's what they're hoping for. That's the main event of day one. Huge matchup there. Day two. This is the one you're going to like.
Let's get it.
Chrono Cross, Chrono and Magus against Tenacious E.
My guys.
Your guys, I know. I know you're a big fan of Jack Black, and I know especially you're a big fan of Bowser Mode Jack Black and his son, the Moon Man Eclipse. Yep. Do you think they're going to have what it takes to take down the Sons of Lavos on day 2 of Autumn Asylum?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Well, it's going to be a close matchup because, you got to imagine Chrono Cross, they've tagged each other for a long time. They both have and fought each other for a long time, where Jack Black and Eclipse, they're still kind of just realizing that they're even related. So do you think that's going to factor in? And is Moon Mama watching going to factor into the matchup now that Jack Black has taken daddy ownership over Eclipse?
See, that's the thing. So Moon Mama's watching. That's one factor.
Right.
Daddy Son Power. That's another factor.
Yep.
Tenacious. That's the third factor. So that's why 3 hell yes.
There you go. And there's no better logic than that, folks. Then we have what's interesting. This, I mentioned before that the Forgotten Fighters were going to face Ermac, Ken Masters, and Johnny Cage.
Right.
Well, because of Sagat going to the office and whining, we're no longer doing that. Right. So it is still going to be the Forgotten Fighters. Right. It is still going to be Johnny Cage. It is still going to be Ermac. They have chosen a third member to add to the team. That team member is Rain from Mortal Kombat. Because Ermac called Rain and they had a discussion and said, listen, we want to take down the Forgotten Fighters. We're all part of the same, original universe. We can handle these guys and, for Ken Masters' sake, after the amount of fuckery that he's had to deal with this year with Sagat, not only putting him on the pre-shows, but then attacking him as frequently as he humanly can. Yeah. So it is going to be a 3-on-3, but the rules are different, AB. Because we're going to be giving a Soul Calibur Gauntlet rules. Okay. There's going to be a graphic on the screen on day 2 that's going to explain all of that. Gotcha. But the Spark Notes version of it is there are no ring outs, there's no disqualifications, there's no submissions. The only way you can win is pin or knock out your opponent. If you leave the ring at all, you are disqualified immediately. So it's just like Soul Calibur. Yeah, you can't leave the ring at all. You got to be in the ring. That's the only way. There's no leaving the ring. You stay in the ring and you fight.
Now, can you get thrown out of the ring?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Yeah. If let me put it this way: if you throw somebody out of the ring, if you're the one doing the offensive move, you're out.
Oh. No
ringing out at all. None. Zero. Wow. It's namely because breaking the fourth wall, it would be too complicated to do otherwise.
Of course.
So otherwise, it just look like every other match, and that's not the whole point. We're trying to make this unique.
Ninja time.
Yeah, that's right. So it is the combatants against the Forgotten Fighters Soul Calibur rules. It is an elimination gauntlet, which means once one team is completely eliminated,
Yeah.
That's how we're going to find out who's going to win that matchup. Clearly, some blood feud involved, but also fighters doing what they do best.
Beat down in CIW town.
That's right, folks. And of course, the main event of day 2, we mentioned Aquaman.
Yep.
Yeah, he is the #1 contender for the Exceeds title. He is going to face Noob Saibot for the Exceeds title main event of day 2. And it is going to be a barn burner. These two, no strangers. These two were some of the original guys fighting in 2014 for that Exceeds Championship belt. Both men, and Noob Saibot a 3-time, and Aquaman a 2-time Exceeds champion. Going to be a big hoss fight. These two running it back after almost a decade of facing each other.
I just hope that I can put a nice dent into Aquaman before, his battle. So,
well, and that's a good factor. Aquaman's facing you 2 nights before, or actually a week and the night before. Is that going to factor into his health? And when he fights Noob Saibot, but Aquaman was okay accepting this fight with you.
Yep.
He wanted to make sure that he accepted it. So, and what I'm being told is that he wants to have that match alone. He's not bringing any members of DC. He's like, you want to fight? We're going to fight.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a hell of a matchup. I know. I've heard that you're getting some new threads made for that match. I've heard. But we'll see what happens when we get there.
It's something to see.
But now we've got October 1st, day 3.
Yep.
This is 4 matches on this show. So Agent 47 and Neo, as I mentioned, bitter about the whole Revelation thing, and even though they won, they still don't believe that the people who were involved are honorable people.
Right.
Namely, they've targeted Waluigi. Mm-hmm. And we saw what happened at the Midsummer Showdown with them, where they, basically double teamed him in that one-on-one match, giving Agent 47 the victory. Mm-hmm. So Waluigi has said, you know what, you want to fight? Let's fight evenly. Two guys I've been fighting for almost 9 to 10 years. So we are going to see Agent 47 and Neo against Waluigi, and the partner that he has chosen is the man who he kicked off the Summer Series fighting with, Waluigi and Mario, teaming up for the first time in CIW against the Shades of Black. Will this first ever pairing of these two be able to stand up to one of the veteran tag teams in CIW's tag division?
Yeah, that's an interesting match. I'm interested to see what happens there. I don't know. It's in the air for me.
Yeah, it definitely could be a toss-up. That's why we brought it in. And so Waluigi and Mario, so keep that in mind as we head going up. And then we have the Women's Championship. Ladies in the chat. And
ladies.
Natalie Portman is going one-on-one with Black Cat again. Another rematch. Black Cat earned that opportunity at the Brawlbarbecue when she beat, I believe it was the Yellow Rangers, Lara Croft and Evie Hammond. Been in a triple threat match and earned this rematch that she's going to have with Natalie Portman. And we are making sure that Natalie Portman cannot be accompanied to the ring to begin the match. So she can't have Evie in her corner walking to the ring. That's the rule that we're going to have. So she's going to have to try and fight this one on her own merits. Can she beat Black Cat when the odds are even?
Ladies, that's going to be a good match to see. We'll see what happens on that. Powers to be.
Yeah, and I know that you saw that previous match where Black Cat got close.
Yeah.
2 iron claw, 2 of the Cat's claws, and it wasn't enough because the odds were just not in her favor on that night.
Ladies.
I know what you mean, man. So then now 2 matches left. These are the biggest ones.
Oh boy.
After the Grim Reaper attacked Satan after Satan lost to Riddick, the Grim Reaper's whole case was that Satan basically eliminated Grim Reaper from CIW when the relaunch started and made sure he didn't even know that it was going on, while Satan was able to accumulate all of the people involved with the satanic suites, allegedly, and do the soul trading and all that until the Revelation thing where Grim Reaper finally came back but got counted out, if you recall. And that's what caused his elimination in that 6-on-6, which you were in. So as a result, Grim Reaper still wanted a shot at Satan.
Right.
And so, but here's the problem, AB. None of our referees want to officiate the match.
Oh, no.
Because it's Satan versus the Grim Reaper. Would you want to get in the middle of those two?
I mean, I know I'm on a backstage kind of level, so maybe. But, y'all should like and subscribe to build up the referee fund to make those guys want to do it.
Yeah, well, I don't know if they're really going to do it, but we are searching currently And what I'm told from Corleone is that he has found a new referee. He's found a referee that is not an official CIW official.
Oh.
So, because here's the problem. Because we don't have any referees to sanction this match, Michael Corleone is not going to be held liable for the destruction that's caused between these two.
Yeah.
It's a fair call.
Wise.
So
Smart
it
move.
is Satan versus Grim Reaper in an unsanctioned match with a referee that I don't know and you don't know. And we are apparently going to find out at Autumn Asylum on day 3, October 1st, who that man is. But it's an unsanctioned match. CIW is wiping their hands of this one. Whatever happens, happens. It's up to them. You know, we say no powers in CIW. That's still the only rule.
Yeah.
But basically, they can tear each other apart if they want to. We are not going to get sued. Not on this day.
Not on this
Who
day.
do you think of these deities is going to walk out the W?
Oh, man, that's a hard one for me, man. For the powers that be, I got to say Redacted.
Fair enough. And that's why we're not sanctioning the matchup. And then the main event. So, AB, I know you've been following it because you're a fan of Record of Ragnarok in the same way that I am.
Oh, yeah.
And recently we debuted Shiva from Record of Ragnarok. And Shiva has obliterated JBL with his own finish, Freddy Krueger with his own finish, and Wario with his own finish.
Yeah.
He's beaten world champion after world champion after world champion convincingly. Kratos was not bothered by this until he learned that Shiva was a god, because Kratos wasn't paying attention, because he's got his own life. He lives in the woods. He's got a son. He's the world's champion. You know, we call him up to wrestle when it's time.
Yep.
He saw that match with Shiva and Wario, and he goes, oh, hell no. I kill gods. He ain't staying. So Kratos has actually challenged Shiva for the world's heavyweight championship, the CIW champion. A bold move by our champion Kratos. What do you think is going to happen here with the man with all the momentum, Shiva, against the man who cannot be stopped in Kratos?
Man, I'm expecting to see a fist fight. Fist on fist on fist on fist on fist on fist.
Absolutely. And no lube involved, folks. It's going to be raw dog, bare fists. It's going to be a fight. It's not going to be a wrestling match, folks. It's going to be a fight.
Yeah.
Just as a prediction, do you think Shiva has a chance given what you've seen with Kratos?
Yeah, he might have a chance, man. But we'll see what happens. Kratos is a god killer.
He is.
He's a god killer.
He is.
Yeah.
But Shiva's been incredibly impressive himself. It's going to be a hell of a matchup. It's going to be a Haas fight. It's our main event of day 3. And here's a fun fact, AB. At the end of day 3, we are going to be holding a CIW press conference for about half an hour, and we will answer your questions about all the show. All 3 days, you ask anything you want. It's an AMA with me, your Colonial Champion, Sean McCarty. I will be answering questions on Corleone's behalf. Maybe AB will be there. Maybe he won't. I will. But stay tuned for that. That's October 1st, and that's after the CIW Autumn Asylum Day 3 has ended. We will go right into that press conference. It is a live stream. I will be right here. May or may not have cookies, depending on what happens on the course of the night. But that is going to be the situation. We've got a lot going on, AB. Are you excited for Autumn Asylum or what?
Hell yeah. Can I get a hell yeah?
Hell yeah. That's
yeah.
how we do it, folks. Well, thank you very much for tuning into this storyline update. We really appreciate y'all being here. A fun time for CIW coming up. And until then, folks, stay classy, and we'll see you on the 2nd, 2 days' time, for our first Saturday Night Hype. Captain Planet, Freddy Krueger, and Smoke. Let's go, baby. CIW keeps rocking and rolling. And we'll see you next time.
Hype.
I'm about to eat these fucking cookies.
Hype, mother.
Say it.
Okay.